Good morning, a warm welcome to Prime News Run 4 to 5 minutes presentation of the most recent, credible, balanced, accurate information about issues and events, claims, counterclaims, in-depth report about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our global village. I'm out to be anchoring this Thursday, November 30, 2023, 7 a.m. edition. In our top stories, U.S. sanction and Mangibi County Senator-elect rejects allegation of owning properties in Dubai, the UAE. Nathaniel Magay urges the outgoing and incoming governments to investigate has seized any property if proven.
I listened to one talk 2 days ago and someone showed a picture that I own property in Dubai. And I said to Stanton, if you have the documents that the properties are mine, please turn it over to the government of Liberia.
Big boost to Liberia as the World Bank lifts Liberia's suspension following the country's compliance to settle its overdue payments of loans to the bank. Also coming up,
2021, 38,779 abortions occur in this country.
That the abortion section, including the comprehensive sexuality education in the public health bill before the Liberian Senate, be removed.
Ministry of Health survey reveals that 38,779 children are aborted annually in Liberia. Calls on the Senate to teach sex education in Liberian schools, but the campaigners to stop extreme abortion disagrees. Off the home front, Nigeria's president has delivered his first budget since taking office as the country faces a deepening cost of living crisis. A regional court has dismissed a petition seeking to stop the construction of a controversial $4 billion crude oil pipeline farm. These developments and other interesting stories, including the agile voices of the newsmakers, are packaged. We'll take a short break. We'll come back. We'll bring you the details of these developments.
Bringing the news to your know with professionalism. This is your first step to hearing the news. This is the last step to knowing your news.
Welcome back. Straight into our mainline stories, Mangibi County Senator-elect Nathaniel Magay has denied allegation that he owns several properties outside Liberia, especially in Dubai, the United Arab Emirates. Recently, from Spoon Network CEO Starden Waterspoon and other panelists on the Spoon Talk displayed a photo of a huge building in Dubai, the Middle East, claiming that the former Minister of State for Presidential Affairs owned the properties. Magay is amongst 3 former officials of the US administration that were sanctioned by the United States government for rampant public corruption. Speaking to journalists, the Mangibi County Senator-elect Nathaniel Magay challenged both the outgoing and incoming administration to conduct vigorous investigation about such information, and if it is proven, the Liberian government should seize the property in question.
I do not own property out of Liberia. When I was sanctioned, some of the questions have been asked. I responded to the questions. I do not own property out of Liberia. I listened to one talk 2 days ago and someone showed a picture that I own property in Dubai. And I said to Stanton, if you have the documents that the properties are mine, please turn it over to the government of Liberia. And I'm begging the government to please ask Stanton. Somebody said he had documentary evidence that the property are mine. Let me turn the property document over to the government of Liberia. I'm begging the government to please take possession of the property. It will be a shame if the government don't go take the properties. Because if somebody bought it and put it in my name, then let the government take it. Because I don't own those properties. I don't even know the location. I've been to Dubai a few times. I don't know any government official in Dubai except for the prince that I met once and with the other visitations. From that time we never had any communication. I left from the hotel one day. I never visited any property in Dubai. Even the guys at the airport, normally when you travel, some of the properties will not come to Africa and say, Can you invest in a property in Dubai? I never invested one day in a property, so I don't own no property. But let me say that if Stanton claims that he has the document, again, I'm begging him to turn the document over to the government of Liberia. So in fact, you could show in the order. I mean, you could show all in the order and say, this is my property. Let him turn it over to the government. I'm begging the incoming government to go and seize the property and let the Liberian people own it. If you don't do it, be ashamed. Well enough for me. I consistently say I only own property in Liberia now.
U.S. sanction and Mangibi County Senator-elect Nathaniel Mageo there rejecting allegation of owning properties in Dubai, the UAE. The World Bank has lifted its suspension placed on Liberia after the country settled all its overdue payments of loans to the bank. It can be recalled the World Bank suspended Liberia assets through withdrawal loans after the country defaulted loan repayments by 60 days under the administration of outgoing President George Weah. The decision to suspend assets was conveyed in a letter dated November 15, 2023 to Liberia's Finance Minister Samia Toure from the Vice President of the West and Central Africa region at the World Bank, Ousmane Dangena. The country's right to withdraw from the disbursements, loans, and Pacific Trust Fund grants was temporarily halted until the debt to the bank is serviced. In a communication dated November 28, 2023, the World Bank acknowledged receipt of all overdue payments referred to in the suspension notice and all other payment owed by Liberia that have fallen since the suspension date of notice. The World Bank confirmed that Liberia is now current on all payments owed that the bank honor the suspended loans, prompting the lifting of suspension of withdrawal for Liberia under the suspended loans as of November 24, 2023. The suspension lifting comes as Liberia prepared to usher in a new administration led by President-elect Joseph Yuma Boakat following the 2023 presidential runoff election. For the incoming administration, lifting of the suspension is a serious boost for Liberia's capacity to borrow from other lenders. Today's development in National Abortion Incident Survey conducted by the Ministry of Health has uncovered that at least 38,779 abortions occur annually in Liberia. Liberia Chief Medical Officer Dr. Francis Kete revealed that about 16% of all pregnancies across the country end into abortion.
The 1976 law gives a woman the right. It gives the woman the right to self-abortion by using any means up to 6 months. Go and read the 1976 public health law. It gives the woman the right to use any means for self-abortion. What we sought to do based on what is happening and the development of technology and so forth is, yes, it is true that our role is education. This is why we talk about sex education. Under sex education, we talk about abstinence. But not everyone will abstain. Not everyone will be on the right moral standing in order to take certain decisions. And sometimes things happen. If a female decides that, look, I'm not prepared to carry this child to birth, we feel that it has to be done safely. And this is the caveat that is very critical on which we tend to operate. Let me just give you just a statistic from 2021. When we did the National Abortion Incident Report, what we saw in 2021, 38,779 abortions occur in this country. 16% of all pregnancies ends up into abortion. Today, for every 1,000 live births, 229 ends up in abortion. Today, we have a high maternal mortality rate. These abortions, about 10% of all of our maternal death in this country is due to abortion. How many women are we going to lose? How many young girls are we going to lose? And so what we are trying to do is that if this can be done safely, where the practitioners know exactly what to do. Not only that, the law of 1976 did not criminalize abortion. In this present law, we have a level that if there are certain procedures and processes have to be followed in order for abortion to occur.
Meanwhile, Dr. Francis Kete justified that sex education is the best option in reducing the alarming rate of abortion in Liberia, something he said prompted the Ministry of Health to include in the bill the teaching of sex education in Liberian schools.
And this is what we are doing. And based on what you have done for us, placing us into the position to protect life of all Liberians, this is why we are trying to make sure if abortion is done safely in a conducive environment where that female that is carrying that unborn can fully recover and have a better life. In the absence of that, we are going to see a huge maternal mortality rate in this country. And we're going to see other implications, because even if a woman does not die in the process, you have infection rate. You have other things that we have to take care of. And so again, honorable members of this great Senate, it falls within your purview to understand we all have religious belief, but at the same time we have to find a time to distinguish what is going to affect the life of people from our personal, as Dr. Kitty, as Princess Kitty, like I indicated. I'm a Methodist, and that's not something that I was willing to do. But based on the lesson that I learned, yes, again, this is why education, sex education is placed into this. This is why under the Family Health Division, we work with the school system and put in all of the protective gear so that we cannot get to that point. But whenever we get to the point, like any other diseases, HIV and other things, if we get to that point, what are the alternatives? And if there are alternatives,
Liberia Chief Medical Officer Dr. Francis Kete, there speaking when he appeared before the members of the Liberian Senate. In a related development, a survey conducted by the campaigner to stop extreme abortion in Liberia has projected that over 40,000 pre-born babies will be aborted if the National Legislature approve the current bill before that August. Bodies seeking to give the right to abortion in Liberia. The lead campaigner and former president of the Liberia Council of Churches, Bishop Kotu Brown, said abortion is forbidden under the customs of religious and traditional beliefs in Liberia.
We are therefore here to ask and to stay ESE will sexualize our children. Teach children as young as 6 years old to learn how to ejaculate. At 2 or 3 years old, we also learn how to masturbate. At 9 years old, the children will be given sex education to make conscious decisions about whether or not to have sexual experiences. We want to make it very clear that when it comes to the protection of our religious, traditional, and cultural values, this issue is of utmost importance to us. If the extreme abortion section in the public health law remains in the bill and you vote in support of the public health bill, we consider you as voting contrary to the religious, traditional, and cultural values of Liberia. That was why we established the online petition, www.stopliberiaabortionbill.com, to call the attention of our senators to our objection of the abortion and the CSS portion of the bill. On the current law, 1976 law, abortion is allowed in exceptional cases, exceptional circumstances, where the mother's life is at risk, rape, incest, felonious intercourse, and the disability of the fetus. These are rare situations. The extreme abortion section in the public health bill will scrap our current law and replace it with an extreme law that allows abortion for any reason on demand, up to when the baby in the womb is at 14 weeks gestation. And it's easy to make a law. The law is like a motorcar rope. When you fix it, you don't know what will pass on it. Unfortunately, the Liberian House of Representatives has endorsed the bill and passed it on to the Honorable House of Senate for concurrence for the extreme situations covered by our current law. And over 95% happening on.
Meanwhile, Bishop Kotu Brown has expressed his opposition to teaching children under 10 years about sex on grounds that sex education with teenagers is an approval to allow the children to actively get engaged into sex activity.
The bill is 5 million. This is why we are asking you now to vote for the passage of the whole section of abortion and comprehensive sexuality education to enable you adequately engage the citizenry of Liberia, consult the religious, traditional, and cultural communities across the country, and they pass the book to defer the passage to the new legislature for further consideration, given the criticality of the issue. Is that the people are now aware of the current attempt to revise the abortion law and do not support it. Another concern from the field is the need for a strong public health education program, which we think will address some of the concerns of the Ministry of Health about who and where abortion should take place. Is there any such thing as safe abortion? Does abortion kill a baby? Is it not associated with harm to the mother, including infection, perforation, etc.? If we allow abortion only at certain health sectors, who will pay for it? The pregnant woman or the government of Nigeria? Do we have the facility to minimize injuries and mortalities? I think this is a crucial issue. And we all should work together on this. I think that this bill needs great consideration in the Ministry of Health, the religious community, and all the other community. We can sit down in the new year and have a conversation on it.
Bishop Kotu Brown, former president of the Liberia Council of Churches and lead campaigner to stop extreme abortion in Liberia, there speaking when he appeared before members of the Liberian Senate. Bong County Superintendent Esther Walker has blamed officials and members of the ruling Coalition for Democratic Change for its defeat in the just-ended 2023 presidential legislative election. Speaking to reporters in the county, Superintendent Esther Walker said sedition arrogantly undermined their own government by promoting division and hatred among themselves. Superintendent Walker argued that many officials of the CDC encourage segregation, envy, and suppression within the party, while warning partisans and supporters of the CDC not to cast blame on anyone else, but should blame themselves.
Like I said to you, the party undermined herself. I'm not the election commission, but the party undermined herself.
I think we're in that.
So if the party undermining herself, your defeat will directly come. So all partisans should accept that most of the defeat comes from ourselves as sedition. Let's accept the wrong. Why people will refuse to accept the wrong? So if you sin and they say go for confession to God, you'll be ashamed. Take your Bible and tell God, say I did this sin, so I'm sorry for my sin. Please forgive me. So it's the same thing. We are at fault.
Okay.
Don't blame anybody. Don't blame on anybody. In fact, do you know if the CDC were going to win, I who's sitting here, maybe I will not work in the government.
Why think so?
Because we hated each other so much, we lie on each other so much.
Okay.
So there where some of our defeat came from. We were not focused but lying on each other. Running behind, misunderstanding, running behind little or nothing.
It is that everyone was desperate of getting power.
Desperately over nothing.
Okay.
Zero. You can't be desperate over zero.
Why you didn't remedy some of these situations until you went to the ballot and be defeated?
How long we been working? When I said the truth, I was suspended for 5 months.
Okay.
When I said Nathaniel Mangil, Samuel to other people, the way they going, the way they want to carry the government, it will continue. We had problems. It was a trouble on me. I was suspended for 5 months.
Okay.
So I think when you going all of here, when somebody talking, come back to the person. Why you said this? Maybe they saw something going out of track. Where here says here, see all the noise. God had there been with me to keep the country quiet. And because I keep obeying my people, that's why Bonkante was quiet. If I would not say that, Bonkante was never going to be quiet. But I obeyed my parents. The people of Bonkante are my parents. So I obeyed them. I came to work for them. I didn't allow McCarthy to go, people stressing, people doing they want in the street. No.
But you were one of the fearless superintendents speaking to power in Bond County.
If you don't speak to democracy, what for?
You tell us.
You have to speak the truth.
Okay.
Auntie. You can't continue to make the mistake over and again and again and again. You can't.
Okay.
You can't do that. Sometimes you go somewhere, you say, oh, this is why I storm my toes. Let me clean the place. But if you don't clean, maybe you'll fall down. You will not only storm your toe, the next time you fall down.
And that was not done in the case of CDC.
CDC had plenty. We were the problem for ourselves.
Okay.
That way our defeat came from. I keep saying it to you. People feel when they in power, they must subdue the other people.
Who are those?
It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that.
Is there any
have to work.
Okay.
No, behind us now.
All right.
We're moving on with our lives. We are one people, Liberian people. We pray and we are expecting the transitional period to take place. And every Liberian will meet up. We're any party, we hug each other, we shake hands, we meet a club, we sit down, we drink together, we meet up. Other people funeral, you go to a funeral, you meet somebody.
Okay.
So why should we create enmity because of politics?
Madam
Just because we
Superintendent.
didn't understand ourselves.
Okay. Madam Superintendent, your party took an appeal to the National Elections Commission for, irregularities.
Appeal to do what?
For irregularities.
Well, at that time, it was belated, President.
Bond County Superintendent Esther Walker speaking to reporters in the county, blaming officials and members of the ruling Coalition for Democratic Change for its defeat in the just ended 2023 presidential legislative election. Madam Walker argued that many officials of the CDC encourage segregation, envy, and suppression within the party, while warning partisans and supporters of the CDC not to cast blame on anyone else but should blame themselves. Some aggrieved members of the National Teachers Association of Liberia have petitioned the majority bloc of the association National Executive Committee to conduct financial audit of the Mary Human's leadership for the last 5 years. The association Moserado County Chapter former Vice President Peter Zuba is requesting the majority bloc of the Association National Executive Committee to legally freeze all accounts of the NTL before the end of 2023.
Please be informed that as of today, we, the below signed members of the NTAL, once again appeal to you to resume the court case on behalf of us. Please find some of the best and professional lawyers to help us plead our case. We are kindly suggesting to you that you should kindly tell the lawyers to help us freeze all NTL accounts before the end of this year, until she and her leadership can provide comprehensive financial audit for the central administration, regions, and county offices of the NTAL for the period January 2018 to 2023. Please go ahead with the case you started. We are now free and liberated to speak freely. As we expect a change in government very soon, it is possible that Mistress Mary W. Monba Yima will deplete our accounts. As we close, we want to let you know that we support your call for financial audit at the NTAL for the last 5 years. Please do not hesitate to proceed with the case. We are in support of the fight you are putting up for us. Please continue this fight.
Peter Zuba is former Vice President of the Moserado Chapter of the National Teachers Association of Liberia, receiving the aggrieved members of the NTAL petition. Eric Boaka, an executive of the association, lauded the petitioner for their decision and promised to join efforts in fighting for transparency and accountability at the National Teachers Association of Liberia.
For and on behalf of the majority members of the National Committee of the National Teachers Association of Liberia, in presence of Eric W. Boaka, Principal Representative, we do appreciate you for this petition of support for the fight for transparency and accountability at the National Teachers Association. We can promise you that we continue to fight until transparency and accountability is made real in the interest of the teachers of the Republic of Liberia and education workers. So I want to say thank you. We will fight this battle to the end.
Today's development team, Dennis Nipson for FIJA presidency has called on the membership committee to further explain on the denial of female journalists being on the voters' roll. Recently, FIJA membership committee put up a voters' roll for the December 15, 2023 election, which saw 30 female journalists not being registered. In a release issued late Sunday, the team Dennis said it is deeply concerned about reports of the removal of qualified female journalists' names from the preliminary voter roll. This action, according to the release, has created dissatisfaction among the members, and as a team that believes in inclusiveness, transparency, and accountability wants clarity on the matter. The release further calls on the membership committee chair to provide clearer and compelling reasons for the removal of the names. The team stated that it believes in an inclusive and diverse election process that reflects the participation of all membership. Meanwhile, the team noted that its commitment to a fair and transparent election process is unwavering, adding that addressing these concerns promptly is crucial to upholding the values of FIJA. Today's development, the political leader of the Liberia National Union, Dr. Clarence Amanaba, has attributed the harsh economic conditions of the country to the lack of effective leadership. In a special interview with Focus on Liberia recently, Dr. Amanaba expressed deep concern over the current state of affairs in the country. The defeated presidential candidate emphasized the urgent need to do away with the traditional politics rhetoric, while calling on President-elect Josiah Mabuaka to provide clear and visionary direction for the nation.
That President-elect Boyka is putting around, who are the progressive leaders that he is going to put around him, that will ensure that we have a better way of life, that we have a better standard of living? That's the question that we should be asking right now. Who are the competent and qualified people, regardless of party? To be frank with you, I would be of the strong opinion, because there were good Liberians who worked in the CDC government. President-elect Boyka should also look over that aisle and see who are the good, well-meaning Liberians who work there. Let him look among everybody and pick the best and the brightest, because the people of Liberia are suffering. You know this, Dennis. The people of Liberia are suffering. So we cannot continue to do politics as usual. We cannot continue to do this person supported me, so I will give him job. No, that is what has given us the country we have right now, which is not good enough. And why do you think the people are suffering? The people are suffering because you can see it. You can feel it. What is causing that? Say that again. What is causing the people to suffer? What's the reason behind it? You know, it's been a combination of there have been lack of leadership, and not just at the highest of levels, but let's go all throughout society. There's been, I think we have to be more focused on infrastructure development. I think the country of Liberia should focus a lot on technical and vocational training. One of the main things we pushed forward in our political platform was that everybody graduating from high school should have 2 years of technical and vocational training. Let people graduate from high school, not only with your high school degree in one hand, but as a carpenter, a plumber, an electrician, something so that we can work for ourselves and make the economy work. These are things we try to push forward. Which one comes first? Because if the economy is not strong, we talk about the roads, the infrastructure, the education, but if the economy is not strong, we need money to do all this. So how are we going to get the money? Which one comes first? Listen, that's why leadership is hard. What does this mean when you say leadership? That's why we have to be very clear. The leader, the president, the incoming president, or the leadership has to be very clear to know what direction they want to go. For me, if I was going to be fortunate enough and blessed enough to have won this election, I was very clear. Nobody was going to graduate from high school from the day I took over if they did not have technical and vocational training. So there are certain decisions that has to be made. We also have to look at Liberia and look at the 73 districts and build Liberia district by district, not even county by county, but district by district. Every district should have a state-of-the-art school, agriculture project, factory, technical vocational college. That's the only way we are going to transform Liberia. Yes, money is difficult, but
the political leader of the Liberia National Union, Dr. Clarence Amonumba, there attributing the harsh economic condition of the country to the lack of effective leadership. According to him, President-elect Josiah Yuma Boaka should place a key focus on infrastructure development and in the enhancement of technical and vocational education. Join us, remaining listening to Prime News 1, 45 minutes presentation of major development taking place in Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our global village. I'm Arthur B. anchoring this Thursday, November 30, 2023, 7 a.m. edition. Top stories we're following this morning: U.S. sanction and Magibie County Senator-elect rejects allegation of owning properties in Dubai, the UAE. Nathaniel Mageo urges the outgoing and incoming governments to investigate has seized any property if proven. Big boost to Liberia as the World Bank lifts Liberia's suspension following the country's compliance to settle its overdue payments of loans for the bank. Also in the news this morning, Ministry of Health survey reveals that 38,779 children are aborted annually in Liberia, calls on the Senate to teach sex education in Liberian schools, but the campaigner to stop extreme abortion disagrees. After home front, Nigeria's president has delivered his first budget since taking office as the country faces a deepening cost of living crisis. A regional court has dismissed a petition seeking to stop the construction of a controversial $4 billion crude oil pipeline. Taking a short break, when we come back, we'll bring you more developments. Stay with us.
Bringing the news to your know with professionalism. This is your first step to hearing the news. Bringing the news to your know with professionalism. This is your first step to hearing the news. This is the last step to knowing your news.
Thanks for rejoining us. Today's development: the West African Examination Council has dismissed social media reports on fees payment for the 2024 examination from some school authorities across the country. A release issued on Wednesday, WAEC Liberia said the fees for the 2024 3rd, 6th, 9th, and 12th graders examinations have not changed, as has been alleged and circulated on social media. WAEC Liberia called on those involved in such unwholesome acts to immediately desist or will be made to bear the full consequences of their actions. The office described the circulation of the social media report as unwarranted and unwholesome, noting that the information is purported and should not be given credence. According to WAEC Liberia release on its social media, on its official Facebook page, Wednesday, November 29, said 12th graders of public and private institutions and public schools and 9th graders are excused from paying examination fees. Mr. Dave Boto is the chairperson of WAEC Liberia office. He has been explaining more via telephone to Prime FM.
What I can say to the public is that WAEC as an institution has not come out with any pronouncement requesting schools to pay any money into our account. So it's good that Sierra has indicated that she will be coming up with a press statement. So I don't want the public to know that we did not use that information. We started with the school, indicated to them, we indicated to them that they should pay the registration fee for caregivers and non-givers and the assist givers. They have to pay enough fee for 12 feet. There have been no meeting or no consultation but we may have whatsoever the policy of the government will be. If the policy of the government will be, we will continue to pay, obviously we are back by it. If the policy will be for the parents to pay again, obviously we are back by it. But until we reach that at that time, for now, our registration is starting in December, and we'll be ending by the 15th of January, or maybe the 20th of January. So the church leaders are not being better asking us to collect any money for any parent. And if parents are following us want to do this, we need to also tell them that
WAEC as an institution has not asked any school to collect money for students. So until WAEC can authorize it to do so, no school has the authority to take money for parents.
WAEC boss, they both there providing information on the recent report on social media on fees payment for the 2024 examination from some schools authorities across the country. The principal of the Sarah Doe Academy, George Nangbe, has rejected and termed as false and political a purported letter bearing the institution's name, alerting parents that the payment of students' WAEC fees will not be possible due to the transition of government.
It's false, it's misleading, it's just like the notice of political. Everyone is looking for the news for them to broadcast. The information that is on the social media is not from our institution. It is true that we did send citation to our parents, but the content of the citation is not as it is on the social media. The content was just to remind the parent about other fees. The actual content is to inform the parents about other fees, like the first installment, the second installment of the school fee. And later on, there is a paragraph that states on the content about this was fee. And then we were informing the parents that they should keep focus, because up to now we are not getting any official information from WAEC. So by the 22nd, we will communicate to them about how the WAEC fees will be communicated or how the WAEC fees will be paid. Okay. To my utmost surprise, I saw this myself. I read it, I went to it, and then sent last night to them up and down. Finding who did it. In fact, the original post, the person that posted it originally, the person don't have any child in the school.
The principal of the Sarah Doe Academy, George Nangbe, there rejecting and terming as false and political a purported letter bearing the institution's name, alerting parents that the payment of students' WAEC fees will not be possible due to the transition of the government. President George Weah has arrived in the United Arab Emirates to join other world leaders for the famous COP28 conference. Heads of the United Nations Climate Change High-Level Champions, UN Women, IUCN, and Women's Environmental and Development Organization are also expected to be in attendance prior to the formal opening of the Conference of Parties United Nations Framework on the Climate Change Convention expected today, November 30. President Weah, a climate change champion, participating in a global conference on gender and environment data on the theme Counting on Sustainable Future, a global conference on gender and environment. The COP28 thematic program is designed to unite a diverse range of stakeholders or levels of governments, youth, business and investors, civil society, frontline communities, indigenous people, and others around a specific solution that must be scaled up this decade to limit warming to 1.5 degrees. Many are hoping a significant will be a shared commitment to triple the global renewable energy capacity by 2030, along with a pledge to double energy efficiency by the decade's end. The Liberian chief executive is being accompanied by the Minister of National Defense, retired General Daniel Zankin, Minister of Commerce and Industry, Marwan Dix, Commissioner of Maritime, Len Eugene Nangbe, Minister of State with our portfolio, Chokong Pui, Executive Director of Environmental Protection Agency, Professor Wilson Tappen, and Ambassador Emmanuel Shaw, advisor to the President. Defeated Montserrat County District 12 legislative candidate Richmond Anderson has rejected a call by his party to discontinue the liquor challenge against a NEC declared winner of the district, Jerry Yokwa. On Tuesday, the Liberia National Union Chairman, Jeremy Sluju, appealed to the party's defeated legislative candidate Richmond Anderson to discontinue the ongoing liquor battle at the Electoral Commission for Peace to prevail in the district. But reacting to the party's request, Professor Anderson stressed that people of the district are supportive of his legal action, disclosing that his lawyer is expected to present witnesses before the hearing officer at the National Elections Commission on today.
No, I was never informed about that. It was a surprise when I heard it on the media this morning that they have urged me to back off in the process. But how will democracy build? I decided to go through the legal means because that's how you build democracy. I respect my party. I respect the leadership of the party. I respect the executive committee of the party. But if even he wanted to have that in mind, he should have consulted me because it's not about me. It's about the people of the district who labored, who sacrificed, who did their work to have asked me to run. Now, to experience such an election malpractices, I will not just let it go. Yeah, open up Pandora box because even my district people are calling me, asking me as to whether what is my own opinion. So in this glaring atmosphere for the media, we did not discuss that. And on Thursday, we're going to be going for a hearing where witnesses will be paraded to find out the authenticity of my complaint. I'm not in the know of this. The case is ongoing. We had hearing yesterday because the first hearing officer who messed up blundered, and they have changed him and brought in a different hearing officer.
Defeated Montserrat County District 12 legislative candidate Richmond Anderson, there speaking to reporters. Briefly in foreign news, a regional court has dismissed a petition seeking to stop the construction of a controversial $4 billion crude oil pipeline from Uganda to Tanzania. The East African Court of Justice on Wednesday ruled that the case was filed too late and was therefore time-barred and beyond its jurisdiction. The 1.43 kilometer East Africa crude oil pipeline, which is being constructed by the Ugandan and Tanzanian government along with Total Energies and China National Offshore Oil Corporation, has faced pushback from local communities and rights and environmental groups. The groups say the project is displacing communities from their land, desegregating graves along the pipeline route, causing environmental harm. Nigeria's president has delivered his first budget since taking office as the country faces a deepening cost of living crisis. He announced government plans to spend 27.5 trillion naira in the new financial year. Bola Ahmed Tinubu said the plans will attract investment, offering renewed hope during tough economic times. Mr. Tinubu has called for patience after inflation skyrocketed following an ambiguous set of reform policy. After winning disputed elections with 37% of the vote back in May, he shocked many Nigerians in his inaugural address when, in an off-the-cuff remark, he scrapped a decades-old fuel subsidy. Well, on that note, this is how we draw down the curtains on today's presentation of Prime Newsrun. Before we take leave of you this morning, once again, here are the top stories we close to follow on the program. U.S. sanction and Magibi County Senator-elect rejects allegation of owning properties in Dubai, the UAE. Nathaniel Mageo urges the outgoing and incoming governments to investigate has seized earning property if proven big boost to Liberia as the World Bank lifts Liberia's suspension following the country's compliance to settle its overdue payments of loans to the bank. Ministry of Health survey reveals that 38,779 children are aborted annually in Liberia, calls on the Senate to teach sex education in Liberian schools, but the campaigners to stop extreme abortion disagrees. Off the home front, Nigeria's president has delivered his first budget since taking office as the country faces a deepening cost of living crisis. A regional court has dismissed a petition seeking to stop the construction of a controversial $4 billion crude oil pipeline from Uganda to Tanzania. I don't know who said many thanks to you for your valuable listening and viewing. Many thanks to our news director, editors, reporters, and contributors for making this edition a success. We'd like to say happy birthday to the President-elect, Joseph Boakai. Rufus Divine Brooks, streamer live on Prime FM Monrovia 105.5. Melvin Matali, Sala Controls, and stream coordinator all of the sound. I've been Atabi, our presenter, building your wonderful Thursday morning from the nation's capital, Monrovia. Bye-bye.